Beneath the sprawling expanse of the Bosporus, as dawn teases shadows into revealing scars of past sieges, imagine a sea catching fire, a fearsome, untamable force, flames conquering water, tongues of fire made flesh by ancient alchemy. In AD 678, this unyielding element forced an entire caliph's fleet to retreat in terror. The crucible of civilizations where Greek ingenuity met the desperation of survival birthed a legend. It is whispered that a fugitive Syrian alchemist Kallinikos brought this secret to Byzantine hands, a legacy of chemistry and strategy inscribed in the fragile remains of bronze cauldrons and siphons. Enter a world where innovation and desperation dance amidst the flames and uncover the shadow dawned by Greek fire. Picture the early dawn over the Bosporus, with a gentle mist clinging to the world, as the Byzantine Empire silently prepared for what seemed like an impending conquest. The usual lively shores of Constantinople stood poised, about to witness a phenomenon that would blaze a trail through history books. A fire on the water, engaging in a fight against the invasion, one that defied natural law itself. The legendary Greek fire was a surreal blend of flames and fluidity, engulfing the seas and challenging the very essence of warfare. In 678 AD, the ambitious Arab Empire set its sights on Constantinople, seeking to expand its dominion over Europe. The city's opulence was a beacon for the Caliph, whose fleet set sail for the Byzantine capital with unstoppable confidence. They carried their aspirations like a conquering tide, cresting towards an inevitable clash. However, hidden within the Byzantine arsenal lay a secret weapon, one that would turn back their aggression with a fiery vengeance that no ordinary weapon could match. Chronicler Theophanes Confessor captured this historical episode, his words painting a vivid picture of the infernal scene. His writings speak of ships caught in fiery embrace, a flame with a wrath even the sea couldn't quench. He described a panic that gripped the sailors, who found themselves not only overwhelmed by attackers, but also betrayed by the sea itself, a theatre of survival turned against them. The Byzantine counteraction saw the sea transform into a burning pyre, a devastating clash of elements that unfolded like a catastrophic dance. Flames leaped over the water, cascading in torrents like molten stars crashing into the vessels, consuming them with furious intent. The Byzantine fleet's mastery of Greek fire proved to be both a tactical advantage and a frightful display of ingenuity. The fiery substance, held secret for generations, was a marvel of Byzantine strategy and alchemy. The Byzantines wielded Greek fire with a strategic prowess that merged scientific curiosity with military pragmatism. Perched precariously between greatness and collapse, the Byzantine Empire clung to survival, using this blazing innovation. This moment in history displayed their cunning, underpinning the empire's resilience and tenacity. The flames not only checked the advance of the Arab fleets, but gave Constantinople a much-needed reprieve. The formula behind Greek fire was meticulously guarded, a closely held secret among the empire's chosen few. These alchemists, enigmatic figures straddling the line between science and myth, were responsible for the creation of this fearsome compound. The Byzantine emperors treated their alchemists and the formula with reverence, reminiscent of divine providence. To control such a volatile force was to walk a delicate line between innovation and destruction, harnessing a power that continuously challenged human understanding. Though its flames have long since faded, the cultural and historical reverberations of Greek fire extended far beyond Byzantine shores. Legends of the fire that burned on water became ingrained in the collective consciousness of the ancient world, fueling tales that would persist through time. The incredible spectacle of this liquid blaze formed the crux of Byzantine identity, cementing its mythical prowess in a halo of near-mythological strength. The victorious stroke against the Arab fleet marked a pivotal moment for the Byzantines, turning the tide against their would-be conquerors and staving off their expansionist ambitions. This fiery clash did more than repel an invader. It became a definitive chapter in the saga of Byzantine survival, shaping the ebbs and flows of power across the region. The aftershocks of this burning triumph resonate within the annals of history, underscoring the complex interplay between technological advancement and warfare. As the ashes of conflict settled, the enigma of Greek fire had left an indelible mark, one interwoven with mystery and potential. The sun, high over the Bosporus, restored its golden grip on the waters, revealing a tranquil scene masking the horrors of the past. And yet, the legacy of Greek fire lingers, a testament to the awe-inspiring but fraught relationship between human ingenuity and the forces it seeks to control. We are left to reflect on the fascinating dance between war and wonder, an eternal and poignant reminder of the balance between innovation and its often unpredictable consequences. In the swirling mists of ancient chronicles, Callinicos emerges as a figure of mystery and ingenuity, a Syrian engineer traced from the beleaguered city of Heliopolis. Fleeing the encroaching shadow of the Islamic caliphates, he sought asylum within the Byzantine Empire. His exodus was far more than a mere quest for sanctuary. It was a journey laden with secrets that would alter the course of naval warfare. Some argue he was not the solitary genius history depicts, but rather the heir to alchemical traditions long passed through whispers and parchments. Still, it is Callinicos' name we remember, etched in the annals of history for the role he played in creating Byzantium's fiery salvation. Leaving behind turmoil and uncertainty, his journey from Heliopolis to Constantinople was fraught with challenges. This path, representing both a literal escape and a symbolic crossing of cultural and technological frontiers, echoed the ancient trade routes where goods and knowledge mingled. Heliopolis, a hub for alchemical and engineering expertise, enveloped by its new Muslim rulers, stood as a monument to the fusion of ancient sciences. Callinicos' departure is presumed to have carried with it the philosophical and practical knowledge essential for his purposes. With treacherous lands stretching before him, Callinicos' flight was undoubtedly a perilous one, though the details remain elusive. Yet his journey represents the timeless story of knowledge in flux, a phenomenon that ignited Europe's medieval curiosity. Arriving in the guarded grandeur of Constantinople, he stepped into a city on the knife edge of survival, a place shimmering with past glories yet haunted by future threats. Here in the Byzantine heartland, Callinicos would weave himself into the fate of his adoptive nation. Heliopolis had been a crucible of innovation, an environment where artisans and alchemists converged beneath the plumes of incense and clangor of anvils. It was in this vibrant milieu that Callinicos thrived, absorbing the composite knowledge that sparked his creative genius. There, among the Heliopolitan culture, a blend of mysticism and empirical science, he may have first encountered naphtha's slippery blaze, or envisioned combining substances into something far more formidable. Callinicos' understanding blossomed as the alchemical and practical merged, forming the clarity of vision required for his combustible creation. Upon reaching Constantinople, Callinicos found himself in a city both desperate and hopeful. Besieged by external threats, the Byzantine Empire sought salvation through innovation, a call to which Callinicos' incendiary invention readily answered. Under the reign of Emperor Constantine IV, the engineer was hailed not just as a craftsman, but as a harbinger of potential tides of change. A lifeline for an empire with one eye cast perpetually over its shoulder. The crafting of the siphon transformed Greek fire from concept to reality. Beyond the composition of the flame, Callinicos refined the mechanism required to deliver it with precision and terror. This endeavour revolutionised Byzantine warfare, enabling ships to spit fire across the sea in arcs that married distance with destruction. In grand demonstrations, the Byzantine court witnessed the fiery arcs, an awe-inspiring spectacle of reddish-orange fury leaping across water, igniting waves and possibility in equal measure. With time, the myths surrounding Callinicos deepened, his name interwoven with tales of miraculous victories and catastrophic defeats. Chroniclers like Constantine Porphyrogenitus immortalised him as a symbol of Byzantium's ingenuity and divine protection. Thus, Callinicos, or the idea of him, endured as a testament to the unnamed architects of history, those who pressed civilization forward with quiet but resolute innovation. Transmuting Greek fire from an idea to an enduring weapon demanded painstaking refinement. Callinicos stood as a meticulous alchemist, toiling to perfect a lethal blend of elements. His experiments, critical yet risky, were alchemical explorations teetering on catastrophe. In his hands, naphtha, sulfur, and quicklime mutated from volatile elements into a cohesive agent of war, a process elevating Callinicos beyond luck to skilled refinement. Once established, Callinicos' creation reshaped the Byzantine military landscape. Greek fire became synonymous with resistance, marking an era where Byzantine ships could hold firm against overwhelming odds. It demoralised foes, sowing chaos and dread within enemy ranks. The Byzantine navy, empowered by its incinerating weapon, transformed the tide of naval engagements, preserving an empire against looming collapse. But secrecy encased Greek fire in an impenetrable shroud, state secrets tightly bound by oaths and penalties. This deliberate mystique not only protected imperial supremacy, but also rendered Greek fire an enduring enigma. Knowledge was rigorously compartmentalised, its origin entwined with state protection, shrouded in fearsome legends about disclosure. Such measures ensured that Callinicos' accomplishment stood resilient against foreign curiosity and intrigue. Even as layers of time washed over history, Callinicos' legacy endures. While the details remain elusive, the story of his achievement continues to captivate and inspire. In a world still drawn to the mysterious and the powerful, Callinicos' narrative stands as a beacon to the potential of human enterprise against the adversities of history. It is a story that refuses to fade, forever lighting the dark corners of bygone ages and fueling an ongoing fascination with the alchemy of war. In the flickering haze of ancient Byzantine workshops, alchemists stood as both sage and enigma, their craft a mystical blend of science and sorcery. Shrouded in secrets and shadows, they toiled over bubbling bronze cauldrons, their air thick with a pungent mix of pitch, resin, and sulphur. These alchemical wizards embraced transformation, the turning of base materials into something almost divine. Among their triumphs was Greek fire, an extraordinary concoction rumoured to defy nature by burning even on water. This was more than a military asset. It was a manifestation of ancient ambition, a quest to wield fire with godlike precision. Amid such mystical pursuits, Anna Komnene, the Byzantine princess and historian, emerges from history's fog, offering tantalising hints of this enigmatic creation. Within her revered chronicle, the Alexiad, she references naphtha, sulphur, and strange earths, a cryptic recipe speaking to Greek fire's volatile brilliance. The detailed yet evasive nature of Anna's account underscores the Byzantine Empire's prowess and reliance on this fearsome weapon to safeguard their realm. Yet Anna's writings protect a broader secrecy, a tactical necessity that cloaked Greek fire's true essence from all but the most trusted. Even as forensic chemistry now peers into Byzantine amphora remnants from Theodosian harbour, seeking to unveil Greek fire's mysteries, the ancient concoction remains elusive. Modern analysis hints at crude oil derivatives, affirming the text by uncovering layers of practical knowledge skillfully woven into Byzantine defence strategies. These explorations link centuries-old whispers to tangible scientific realities and reveal a civilization's advanced grasp of chemical prowess in the relentless march of warcraft. The saga of Greek fire extends beyond the empire's borders, reaching the scholars of the Islamic world. Their curiosity was ignited by rare encounters with this fearsome flame. The 12th century chronicles detail their valiant attempts to decipher the Byzantine enigma, a pursuit marked by captive samples and clandestine expeditions. Despite their intellectual advances, Greek fire's secrets remained beyond reach, shrouded in layered secrecy by the Byzantines, a testament to the empire's strategic acumen and the fierce safeguarding of their incendiary advantage. The tactical brilliance of deploying Greek fire on the battlefield cannot be understated. It transformed naval confrontations into fiery spectacles of terror and confusion. Enemy fleets were engulfed in flames that clung like living serpents, challenging the very element of water they relied upon. This alchemical marvel left adversaries in awe, their strategic edges dulled by Byzantine mastery. In the chessboard of medieval warfare, Greek fire was not just a piece, it was a game changer, shifting power dynamics with a single, fiery manoeuvre. Guardianship of such potent knowledge was not merely scientific, but deeply entangled in the Byzantine social hierarchy. The crafting of Greek fire became the province of a select few, an elite circle bound by oaths to preserve the secret under penalty of death. This guild, hidden in the empire's shadowy underbelly, thrived at the intersection of knowledge and power, its exclusive artisans akin to modern-day researchers, with noble patrons ensuring the empire's edge. The fascination with Greek fire extends to modern times, where historians and chemists attempt to rekindle its flame through reconstructions and experiments. These endeavours, infused with both historical insight and creative science, strive to unravel an ancient formula with awe and caution. Crude oil, naphtha, and other volatile chemicals are combined in controlled settings, seeking to recreate the Byzantine wonder. This quest serves to highlight not only our enduring curiosity, but also the daunting challenges faced by ancient alchemists in perfecting their destructive art. Greek fire embodies the essence of alchemical transmutation, transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary for strategic supremacy. For Byzantium, it was not a mere weapon, but a symbol of human achievement and divine transformation. This weapon of choice reshaped maritime confrontations, burned through conventional strategies, and asserted Byzantine dominance, showcasing how intellect and innovation could redefine military doctrine. The ethical implications of such ancient chemical warfare resonate through time, drawing parallels to contemporary debates surrounding ethical warfare. Greek fire's ability to manipulate both physical and psychological realms makes it a precursor to modern controversies over chemical and biological weapons. As historians probe these ancient mysteries, they confront moral dilemmas echoing through history, challenging us to consider the delicate balance between technological progress and ethical responsibility. The legacy of Greek fire transcends the battlefield, finding life in myth and legend. Over centuries, poets and storytellers have woven it into the tapestry of human ingenuity and ambition. It stands as a testament to lost secrets and the eternal allure of the unknown. Even as we attempt to demystify it with scientific rigour, Greek fire maintains its mythic status, reminding us of our enduring quest to control the elements and transcend the boundaries of human capacity. In this saga of flame and fortitude, the fires of Byzantium continue to burn brightly, a timeless symbol of innovation and the unending human spirit to discover and dominate. In the twilight of the Byzantine Empire, amid the distant clang of swords and the haunting cries of seagulls over the Bosporus, emerged a fearsome contraption, known simply as the siphon. Unearthed from the Zia shipyard in Piraeus in 1901, bronze nozzles with traces of carbonised tar stood as relics of a bygone era, whispering tales of naval genius and fierce defence. These seemingly simple artefacts were sophisticated instruments of fire-wielding, their design an echo of a time when Byzantium defied would-be conquerors with both brains and brawn. Each piece held secrets of an ancient craft, embodying a reality where ingenuity and survival were tightly interwoven. The story of Greek fire is as much about these bronze beasts as it is about the elemental chaos they unleashed. It is said these nozzles, primitive in appearance yet cutting-edge in function, required the skillful operation of a team versed in the arcane art of naval warfare. Historians envision a crew of 3 or 4 men orchestrating these devices from the deck of a Byzantine vessel, their synchronised effort hurling liquid flame further than a javelin could fly, a technique revolutionary in its day. At a time when naval combat often meant intimate encounters with swords and arrows, the siphon bestowed upon the Byzantines a fearsome reach and superior firepower, reshaping maritime conflict for generations. Crafting the siphons was a guarded art, a blend of technical expertise and creative mastery. Those privileged enough to work on these machines were likely under strict imperial orders, bound by oaths of secrecy. Materials were gathered from the vast stretches of the empire. Metals and compounds merged with precision to create these devices of dread. This was more than just engineering, it was artistry. Each siphon a testament to the Byzantine ethos of innovation, held tight against the timeless anchor of tradition. Such devices were meticulously crafted, their physics dictated by a deep understanding of chemistry and mechanics, a science woven with threads of empirical wisdom and esoteric artistry. These fire-spouting colossi were not merely tools of destruction, they were embodiments of strategic cunning, psychological weapons wielded to instill terror before a single spark leapt from their funnels. Emperor Leo VI's Tactica illuminates the effectiveness of Greek fire, detailing how the mere sight of siphon nozzles protruding from Byzantine ships could scatter orderly enemy fleets into chaos. The mental warfare conducted by these fire-breathing dragons, projecting flames over the approaching waves, was as crucial as the physical devastation they wrought. Commanders wielded them with caution, deploying their fearsome breath as the tide-turning means of last resort, aware of the gulping awe and panic they stirred in the hearts of those facing them. While the Byzantine formula for Greek fire remains elusive, modern scholars explore the chemical genius behind its fury. The combination, potentially naphtha, sulphur and quicklime, would have been carefully selected not for flamboyance, but for efficacy under battle conditions. Such a concoction, when mixed with pressurised air blasted forth in a devastating stream, clinging unyieldingly to the water's surface and enemy ships alike. This advanced understanding of chemical warfare, evident in the searing flames that danced across adversary vessels, speaks volumes of Byzantine innovation. It reflects an era heavily invested in all forms of knowledge, especially when such knowledge could metamorphose into an insurmountable defence against existential threats. Operating a siphon called for more than mere bravery. It demanded discipline and teamwork akin to a well-drilled athletic squad. Byzantine crews were rigorously trained, each man knowing his place and function within the complex choreography of ignition. Whether manning the bellows or adjusting the nozzle, crew members had to account for weather conditions and ship movements, their synergy an extension of the Empire's structured military approach. Like the pullers of oars in a trireme, these workers were the vital cogs in the Byzantine machine, united by purpose and refined through training, their collective action, a testament to their empire's methodical martial fabric. The dread that rippled through enemy ranks was real. Accounts from battle-scarred adversaries paint vivid pictures of shock and fear, the Byzantine dromons unleashing hellish fires with an almost mythical air. In their scramble for countermeasures, foes tried whatever they could, ironclad defences and flame-resistant coatings among them, but Greek fire was relentless, slipping between cracks in their plans with sly prowess. The Byzantines, however, were ever adaptable, altering their approach and refining tactics to maintain the edge. Greek fire thus became a deterrent as much as a weapon, its menace serving as both shield and sword against relentless incursions. Despite the Empire's eventual fall, the legacy of the siphon endures. Traders, chroniclers, and crusaders carried tales of these devilish devices across seas and deserts, seeding inspiration and dread among distant lands. Attempts at mimicry followed, from east to west, as other cultures sought to capture the Byzantine flame's essence. This cross-cultural fertilisation left a spark that ignited advancements in incendiary weapons, echoing through the ages, even into modern military arsenals. In contemporary times, scholars continue to peel back layers of myth surrounding the siphon, armed with technology and analytical prowess previously unavailable. Chemical analysis sheds light on ancient practices veiled by legend, painting a clearer portrait of its historical impact. By unravelling embellishments from fact, researchers aim to position the siphon within a framework of tangible, albeit sophisticated, engineering achievement. As the Empire's turrets have crumbled, the siphon remains a beacon in the pages of history, a symbol of Byzantine resolve captured in arcs of flame under the evening sun. This weapon, unseen now yet forever burning in the annals of time, speaks to humanity's ceaseless dance with innovation. Each stride faced with challenges, each burnished invention a testament to the spirit of survival and dominion over nature's fierce secrets. The early 8th century cast its ominous shadow over Constantinople, a city teetering on the brink of a cataclysm. The Byzantine Empire found itself cornered by the relentless forces of the Umayyad Caliphate, whose banners stretched across lands and seas, threatening to engulf the Queen of Cities in a formidable siege. This was no fleeting assault, but an orchestrated attempt to cleave Christendom apart. Emperor Leo III, astute and recently ascended, faced the predicaments of leading a civilization on the edge of annihilation. The Byzantine fortifications, like a stone fortress, were tested by the Umayyad fleet that teemed with resolve and venom, eager to starve the city into submission. Yet amidst the dread, the Byzantines found inspiration within desperation. A concoction both feared and legendary emerged as their unlikely saviour: Greek fire. Its alchemical brew, designed to ignite upon water, seemed to defy nature, burning as if the seas themselves were alight. This liquid inferno became the beacon of hope when the walls threatened to crumble. The city, held in the arms of fate's grip, now wielded a weapon that could turn the tides of destiny itself. The chronicler Theophanes the Confessor stands as our guide to this gripping epoch, his pen capturing the ethos of a besieged civilization. His writings bring to life the tenacity and valour within Constantinople's fabled walls. Emperor Leo III emerges not just as a ruler, but as a clarion call for survival, rallying his people amid the encroaching shadow. Through Theophanes, we understand how Greek fire was more than a weapon. It was Byzantium's fierce statement of defiance against what seemed an inescapable demise. When the siege crescendoed, the Arab attackers found themselves engulfed in flames. Their once sure fleet turned to blazing wrecks along the unravelling edge of the Byzantine legacy. The engineering marvel of Greek fire was an enigma wrapped in secrecy. Its recipe was whispered only among trusted artisans, bound by oaths as formidable as the fire itself. The combination of naphtha, sulphur, and unknown components created an incendiary that clung to the sea and enemy ships alike, refusing to be quenched. Every launch witnessed an orchestration of elements, chemical and human, as bronze siphons spewed forth torrents of flame, merging chemistry and warfare into a fearsome chorus. Battles that raged through the night lit the dark like day, as fire and shadow danced upon the surface, a testament to both human ingenuity and peril. The siege's desperation sapped both attacker and defender, straining each to their breaking point. Within Constantinople, supplies dwindled, faith swelled and fell like the city's fortunes. But as the siege dragged on, the spirit of a people who refused extinction crystallised into resolve. Artisans and warriors fought side by side, each vial of Greek fire an act of divine invocation as prayers soared between the ramparts. Outside the city's boundaries, Arab siege engines loomed, matched by reinforcing waves seeking breach and conquest, a deadly dance pinched between hope and despair. Divine intervention was woven deeply into the Byzantine fabric. Many saw the unquenchable flames as proof of heavenly favour, a belief that fortified morale as sublime as prayer. The conflagration was not just a marvel of warfare, but a celestial endorsement of Byzantium's endurance against its rivals. Chroniclers intertwined tales of Greek fire with interpretations of divine will, picturing an empire on the divine right path, empowered to hold back, even extinguish, Islam's serrated advance. This celestial framing redefined battle not merely as conquest, but in spiritual affirmations writ bold across smoking skies. Through innovation, the Byzantines engineered triumph. Fireships bristling with siphons, manipulated by skilled mariners, became their infernal harbingers. Their operations required a harmony of human precision and natural element, a dance blending courage, chemistry, and warcraft on an unwieldy stage. The blaze uncurled in strategic arcs, asserting Byzantium's brilliance in harmonising strategy with primal power, blazing proof of an empire aflame with purpose. Arab chronicles, like those of Al-Tabari, betray a mixture of awe and dread surrounding their fiery encounter. Flames that danced along water left their ranks demoralised, wrestling with an enigma that defied both natural law and military doctrine. The weapon's fiery embrace wrapped itself in the fear and respect their words could scarcely contain, marking a singular confrontation with tactics their spirit could not yet master. Greek fire, seared into their memories, became cautionary law against Byzantine resilience, reaffirming that numbers swayed not the tides, nor bridged such formidable design. As echoes of Constantinople's fiery defence spread, Greek fire grew synonymous with Byzantine resilience. It was a symbol of cultural ingenuity and survival. The tales enshrined the empire's spirit, written not just in strategic victories but in the cultural consciousness, as an emblem of courage and intellect, resisting the endless pull of oblivion. In the flames, an indelible bond was welded between invention and endurance, casting Byzantium eternally as a flame-bearer, safeguarder of both mystique and metropolis against encroaching shadows, igniting history with the blistering certainty of its call. In the summer of 941 AD, the Black Sea lay serene, its stillness belying the tension as a fleet of Rus longships navigated its waters. The Rus, an imposing alliance of Viking warriors and Slavic tribes, were in pursuit of the Byzantine Empire's fabled riches. Their ships, sleek wooden spectres, propelled by the powerful strokes of their oarsmen, sliced through the water toward Constantinople. As they readied for battle, warriors murmured prayers to Norse gods, invoking a divine edge, while the saline air mingled with the creaking of timbers. This expedition was more than a mere raid. It signified an emerging conflict over control, of lucrative trade routes. The Byzantines, well versed in the threats facing their empire, had caught wind of the advancing Rus. In a city always on edge from external and internal pressures, the news prompted swift action. Byzantine officials began to prepare their most fearsome deterrent, Greek fire. A weapon shrouded in mystery and dread, it was reserved for moments of direst need. Constantinople braced itself. Within the city, a palpable sense of unease gripped the populace. Reports of the Rus advance sent ripples through its streets and council chambers. Emperor Romanos I Lekapinos reacted with urgency. In the Byzantine harbours, dromons, warships armed with siphons for Greek fire, were readied, their crews steeling themselves for battle. The city's churches were filled with prayers as citizens sought comfort and protection, their hopes pinned on the expertise and discipline of the Byzantine navy. On a morning that would echo through the annals of history, the Rus fleet appeared on the horizon. Their ships moved with deadly grace, their crews bent on conquest. Shouts and cries filled the air as Viking warriors prepared for combat, confident that their overwhelming numbers would secure victory. But as they closed in, the Byzantine dromons, manned by sailors who had rehearsed every movement with mechanical precision, began their counterattack. With the steady hand of their commanders guiding them, the Byzantines inaugurated their defence. The dromons, forming an impenetrable wall, surged forward. Bronze nozzles glinted in the sun before spewing torrents of flame. The sea was suddenly alive with fire, a sentient beast leaping from ship to ship in vivid arcs. The roar of Greek fire, a sound like no other, sliced through the Rus ranks. The sky darkened with smoke as the water before Constantinople turned into a blazing tempest. Among the Rusi, chaos reigned. The water had become a traitor, its surface burning with a relentless heat that defied belief. Warriors were engulfed by the flames, their shouts desperate as they dove overboard only to find the sea a fiery cauldron. Caught between their enemies' cunning and their fiery doom, the Rus fleet's coherence crumbled. Fear spread like wildfire, leaving only horror in its wake. Amidst the inferno, Prince Igor of Kiev understood the magnitude of the disaster. The invading force he had commanded was succumbing not just to the Byzantines' fire, but to a panic that threatened to engulf them. Rallying his warriors, he began an audacious retreat. It was chaos incarnate, a desperate contest between survival and the eternal blaze. Yet some ships, cast adrift by desperation, managed to slip past the Byzantine blockade, battered but afloat. Though the Rus escaped annihilation, their return bore no songs of conquest. Instead, stories of Byzantine fire spread through their lands, tales carried with a chilling reverence in Norse sagas. Greek fire was remembered not just as a weapon, but as a spectre, haunting and infernal. Evolving into legend, these accounts became a cautionary cornerstone within the Norse cultural memory. For the Byzantine Empire, the success of 941 AD reinforced the pivotal role of Greek fire in their naval arsenal. It became synonymous with Byzantine resilience and ingenuity, a tool of both physical and psychological warfare. The empire's mastery over such technology underscored a formidable legacy, cementing its defence against foes both tangible and feared. The nature of Greek fire, however, remains cloaked in enigmatic secrecy. For centuries, scholars have speculated on its composition. An alchemical marvel of its age, few documented accounts exist of its making, safeguarded jealously by Byzantine custodians. This veil of mystery has only enhanced its legend. stoking the imaginations of historians and chemists alike. Greek fire's psychological impact was undeniable, its very mention enough to unravel enemy strategy. It sowed terror far before a battle began, its myth magnified by the shroud of secrecy that Byzantium maintained. The weapon's reputation, the spectre of its dreadful potential, was a strategic asset that kept foes at bay long after its flames had cooled. The ambush on the Rus fleet exemplified the Byzantine approach, skillful, secretive, and striking when least expected. Greek fire was more than a mere weapon. It was a legacy, an embodiment of a civilization's ability to adapt and endure. Even now, its lingering tales remind us of the Byzantine mastery over both flame and law, leaving a radiant mark in the tapestry of history. In the dim halls of Byzantium, the Guild of the Fire Drake emerged as both legend and enigma, swathed in a dark tapestry of secrecy and whispers. This clandestine brotherhood stood as the guardian of Greek fire's secrets, a potent weapon and a symbol of Byzantine might. To be inducted into the guild was to pledge loyalty beyond words, bound by secrecy and shadowed by the threat of a gruesome fate. Artisans formed a selective assembly, drawn from the empire's most skilled and trusted. It was said that oaths were sworn in blood, underlining the seriousness of their covenant. Each member knew their life hung by this bond. Revealing any part of their craft was not just treason, but a swift journey to oblivion. Compartmentalization defined the guild's operation. To protect the sacred formula, artisans worked in isolation, each holding but a fragment of the process. Like chess pieces on a board, they moved between workshops, blindfolded to prevent any complete understanding of Greek fire's composition. Rumours of spies amid their ranks were common. Imperial eyes watched over their every move. These guardians served as both protectors and watchdogs, ensuring that within the guild's stone walls, silence reigned supreme. The Empire's vast machinery of surveillance loomed over all, promising death for those who broke their vows. From its conception, Greek fire was a state secret of immense strategic value. The Byzantine emperors issued edicts as rigid as iron, dictating death for any breach of confidentiality. Punitive measures were severe, polished to instill terror. Public executions at the hippodrome, spectacles that laid bare the cost of betrayal. The story goes that a craftsman who dared to divulge secrets found himself jeered and condemned before the masses. Such tales echoed through the ranks, cementing a culture where fear was both shield and shackle, ensuring every artisan toiled under the Empire's gaze. Within the guild's labyrinthine workshops, a hierarchy persisted, echoing paths of military command. Masters guided the intricate dance of creation, each artisan contributing to the inscrutable whole. Even at the highest echelons, knowledge was doled out sparingly, serving as a powerful defense against espionage. Tradition carried weight here, binding craftsmen to a rigorous legacy through family ties and inherited loyalty. In such an environment, the guild's structure was more than mere organisation. It was a living testament to Byzantine bureaucracy. In this hush of secrecy, oaths of silence rippled with solemnity and ritual. Far removed from everyday vows of fidelity, these were ceremonies steeped in blood and ancient tradition. To forsake an oath was to risk erasure, not just of life but of one's very memory, from the annals of history. The Empire wielded damnatio memoriae with precision, ensuring that a traitor's name faded into oblivion. Against this backdrop, artisans found themselves gripped by the gravity of their charge. the weight of their ancestors' commitments pressing firmly on their shoulders. Surveillance threads wound tightly through the guild's atmosphere, weaving distrust into its very fabric. The Byzantine intelligence network was astutely pervasive, its spies shadowing guild members from inception to marketplace. Private life tied inexorably to the Empire's vigilance. Wisps of treachery were met with quick, decisive retribution. A silent battle waged in the shadows. With such fearsome knowledge preserved intact, Greek fire remained a beacon of Byzantine superiority, protected by an empire unwilling to let go. Trials for suspected traitors were heavy with pomp and ritual, staged spectacles designed to root out further treachery. In chambers echoing with imperial authority, the accused rarely escaped the inevitable conclusion. Confession, extracted however necessary, led to public reckoning. Punishment thrummed with metaphor, from flames mirroring Greek fire's destructive force to burial symbolising betrayal's consequences. Such grisly scenes told a tale far beyond words, reaffirming the solemnity of imperial trust. The psychology of fear permeated every corner of the guild, binding artisans in a dance choreographed to perfection. Here, secrecy drove obedience. Betrayal was unthinkable, nearly incomprehensible against the backdrop of their duty. Heads bowed to shrines, whispered prayers mingling with oaths set beneath the flicker of torchlight. Indoctrination began not at induction, but from cradle, where superstition and duty twined as one, setting each artisan upon a path of silent loyalty. Tradition and legacy lingered over the guild like a tangible presence, defining its very existence and imbuing each member's journey with weight. Following in ancestral footsteps, each artisan walked a storied path, where innovation met sacred observance, and each victory claimed was Byzantium's as much as their own. Past accomplishments echoed across time, elevating duty beyond mere loyalty to an inherited charge. Legacy wove familial bonds anew, layering history with tales of valour, ensuring each generation was uniquely poised to fulfil their arcane role. Against this rich background of secrecy and tradition, outsiders peered from beyond Byzantine borders, eager to unearth Greek fire's flame-kissed riddles. Through espionage and plots, adversaries sought to glimpse these fiery secrets, probing Byzantium's defences with guile and gold. Yet, each effort met its end, dissipating against the Empire's formidable will, its own tales of fear and richness serving as near insurmountable barriers. By adeptly wielding secrecy, the Byzantines turned Greek fire into legend, a legacy enshrined in loyal silence, its secrets intertwined with fire and fate. In the sprawling expanses of the Far East during the Song dynasty, the echoes of Byzantine innovation found new expressions. Chinese chronicles refer to the creation of fierce fire oil, a formidable concoction suggesting parallels with the elusive Greek fire. Unlike its Byzantine predecessor, shrouded in secrecy, the Chinese embraced a more experimental approach, utilising petroleum-based substances harnessed from their abundant natural resources. Historical documents describe this incendiary weapon's capacity to latch onto ships and engulf them in flames. This noteworthy experiment in weaponry represents not only necessity-driven innovation, but also the rich cross-cultural exchanges, thriving long before globalization became a ubiquitous force. Interestingly, fierce fire oil found limited use in Chinese warfare, rooted as it was in cavalry and defensive walls. This innovative divergence from Greek fire was a synthesis of Byzantine inspiration and local strategic thought. Meanwhile, embassies and traders facilitated exchanges of ideas and technologies between Byzantium and China. These diplomatic missions, serving as vessels of knowledge transmission, may have introduced the concept of Greek-style fire to China's terrain. One can imagine these envoys theatrically depicting water-igniting flames and naval battles, spinning alluring tales for the ambitious. Beyond sheer military ingenuity, these exchanges signify profound cultural and intellectual dialogues. The contested contact between the Tang dynasty and the Byzantine Empire hints at early global interconnectivity that predated modern times. The friction of shared ideas, boxing Greek fire's mystical allure in foreign minds, inspired both innovation and added layers to its veiled enigma. The Crusaders, relentless in their religious zeal and military ambitions, pursued Greek fire's secrets during their campaigns. Yet often these pursuits collapsed into comedic errors, with the authentic recipe largely inaccessible. In their attempts to replicate this fire-spitting marvel, they cast together hoped-for ingredients. Chronicled accounts reveal tragicomic incidents where hopeful handlers succumb to fireworks of their creation. A particularly infamous experiment by Albertus Magnus at Acre captured a flame that burst unpredictably, engulfing its eager wielder. This episode underscores their determination to wield Byzantine power and how such quests, faced with misinformation, could spiral into disaster. Medieval European alchemists were ensnared by Greek fire's mystique, venturing deep into the labyrinthine world of chemistry. In secrecy-clouded chambers, they strove to decode this water-defying blaze, believing science and magic danced upon its flames. Their ambitious formulations were captured by medieval legend. Some breakthroughs, many combustive failures. Indeed, early scientists found themselves as obscured by darkness as myth would suggest. Yet these failings sowed seeds for European advancements, laying the groundwork for future chemical pursuits. Guarding its secrets jealously, the Byzantine Empire built a protective veil around Greek fire, guarded with espionage and cunning misinformation. Byzantine emissaries levelled false recipes among curious allies and potential foes to perpetuate this veil. Neighbours, eager to harness a similar destructive force, often found their ambitions incinerated in their own attempts. Such unscrupulous manoeuvres ensured Greek fire became synonymous with fearsome military capability. The lore surrounding these flames cemented the Byzantine reputation, steeping adversaries in trepidation, not solely because of its explosive capabilities, but also from its inscrutable secrets. The winding paths of rumours about Greek fire's enigmatic properties were tangled further by prevailing misinterpretations. Chroniclers, constrained by fanciful language, evolved Greek fire into legendary creatures like dragons across retellings, projecting monstrously vivid imagery upon adversaries. Thus, slow transmission of oral and written tales blurred the line between reality and narrative embellishment. This distortion showcased the precarious nature of historical recollection, where overstated allegory triumphed over technical clarity, confounding those who endeavoured replication. While little tangible evidence of Greek fire survives, written records offer glimpses into its historical might. Byzantine military manuals detailed strategic deployment of the weapon, contributing inspiration to medieval minds despite their cryptic references and imperfect preservation. These records' textual echoes travelled across generations of scholars, tantalising and feeding the insatiable hunger for knowledge. However, due to scribe reinterpretations, political edits, and degradation, the surviving documentation remains a tempting mosaic, forever inviting scholars to piece together gaps. As East met West across trade and conflict routes, they bridged gaps in understanding incendiary rigs like Greek fire. While distinct cultural landscapes led parallel pursuits, knowledge exchanges became inevitable. Merchants along Mediterranean veins traded not just physical wares but ideas, surreptitiously sharing fiery warfare techniques. This foundational sharing preluded future European chemistry and engineering achievements, sowing seeds of incendiary pursuit for centuries. Greek fire's legend, its spectre across eras, remained shaped by Byzantine shadows. In local battles, diverse kingdoms adapted the fiery torment inspired by Greek fire, reflecting unique tactical needs and available technologies. Whether through catapult-launched flame bombs or primitive cannons, each reinvention embraced the principle of fiery chaos. Cultural moulding of military flame use illustrated how concepts traversed borders and traditions, morphing into diverse applications, always chasing Greek fire's elusive prowess for strategic advantage. Ultimately, the enigma of Greek fire lingers beyond immediate impacts, embodying Byzantine innovation and impenetrable mystery. Today, its allure continues, challenging scholars to reconstruct its legacy from remnants in the sands of time. Attempts to mimic its fury through chemical analysis, historical study, and artistry leave its recipe undiscovered. Yet Greek fire ignites imagination, blending scientific inquiry with historical mystery. Enduring and enigmatic, its spectre haunts us, a testament to the intertwining of human creativity and myth across our shared past. The dawn of 1453 saw the grand Byzantine capital of Constantinople under siege, its once imposing walls trembling as the impending might of Sultan Mehmed II's Ottoman forces loomed ominously on the horizon. The air was thick with an oppressive sense of finality, bearing down on the hardy spirits of its citizens who stood in the half-shadow of their once glorious empire. For the defenders ensconced within these battered walls, the siege represented not merely a struggle for survival, but a desperate fight to preserve a storied heritage and a way of life that had endured over a millennium. In the heart of this crucible, the city's guardians clung to every semblance of hope and defiance, embodied in the fabled Greek fire. This ancient weapon, a beacon of prior military triumphs, once capable of igniting fear upon the seas, became a symbol of both the city's tenacity and its dwindling prospects. Supplies were scarce, and potential allies were nowhere to be found, as Constantinople fought against the tide of change. Within the city's older quarters, Byzantine warriors scrambled to harness the last dregs of the Greek fire, straining every nerve to uncloak the shrouded secrets of its creation. But time, a relentless foe, marched unceasingly, carrying with it the constant drumming of Ottoman siege engines battering at the gates. As the siege tightened, shadowed corridors echoed with the tense endeavours of craftsmen labouring to revive this martial miracle. Turzan Beg, an Ottoman chronicler, detailed the fervent yet diminishing attempts to deploy Greek fire against Mehmed's siege. Though sparse bursts of this fiery calamity sometimes sparked hopes, its production had withered through the erosion of time and knowledge. Generational secrecy kept its precise formula fragmented and diffuse, leaving the city's last inventions to flicker weakly against a massively equipped adversary. The Byzantine artisans, hindered by the impaired means of a beleaguered metropolis, endeavoured to channel this weapon's legendary fury once more, but remained drastically underprepared to do so on a meaningful scale. The caustic bite of Greek fire could not bridge the massive gaps left by lost allies and failing infrastructure. Historical accounts suggest that what remained unravelled as echoes of once vibrant conflagrations. Though attempts were made to deploy the scarce reserves with tactician skill, each meagre blaze barely mirrored the triumphant tides turned in prior conflicts, when Greek fire reigned an undisputed maritime monster. By the mid-15th century, Byzantine hopes became shackled to a relic of past glories, while newer Ottoman strategies embodied the innovative efficacy of gunpowder and artillery. Widening the technological chasm, Greek fire strove futilely to cross. Artifacts unearthed amidst the Golden Gate's ruined district substantiate these narratives of despair. Archaeologists have discovered remnants stained with residue from the city's frenetic efforts to rekindle its final martial flame, a cracked siphon nozzle, charred amid the detritus of shattered fortifications. Each artifact poses haunting remnants of failed alchemical artistry and the blurred reality of an empire facing the turbulent twilight of its resonance. These material fragments reflect the engineers' last-ditch attempts to align vision, tradition, and defiance in the face of overwhelming odds. As these final battles continued within the council chambers of Constantine's inner circle, hope and desperation formed a bitter duality. With the fate of an empire resting in stark deliberation, leaders weighed strategic councils with the looming memory of a weapon prowess that had, in distant years, ordered the world to its flame-lit mandates. Each decision surrounding its deployment embodied a fragile dance between historical strain and innovation's demand. Ultimately, despite its former prominence, Greek fire was but one dwindling light against a sweeping tide, a poignant instrument unable to stem the encroaching darkness of Mehmed's determined siege machinery. When the Ottomans successfully breached the gates and consumed Constantine Uyuksen's last might, they marked the transformative dawn of a new epoch. As Sultan Mehmed II rode to triumph over imperial ruins, he sculpted the entwined narrative of an empire's decline into the profound awakening of a dynamic era shaped by gunpowder and burgeoning conquest. The echoes of Greek fire, once the terrifying fulcrum upon which Byzantine fate pivoted, resonated nostalgically as civilization's grand gears shifted. In the ensuing chronicles of both Byzantine lament and Ottoman ascension, the cultural legacy magnified. Greek fire's volatile mystery danced through scholarly annals and colourful tales born in courts and taverns. Within this meeting of East and West, amidst dialogue and dissent, scholars reflect upon Greek fire as a vessel of human enterprise, chronicling a legacy of conventive zeal destined to outlast the waning days of its own martial effectiveness. From these embers rose a nuanced testament to adaptability, scientific inquiry, and the lingering hope of rediscovering humanity's once revolutionary legends. Through time's revelation, the storied enigma of Greek fire continues to intrigue, defying entire alchemic translations, evolving into a compelling reminder of those great epochs where wielding flame once meant wielding empires. In the silent echoes of history, the enigma of Greek fire stands as a testament to human ingenuity and the shadows of forgotten knowledge. This legendary weapon, capable of burning fiercely upon water, has captivated the imaginations of scholars and tacticians alike, lost between the realms of reality and myth. Greek fire's history is a mystery partially unravelled by broken remnants and whispered legends. Despite our technological prowess, the full grasp of Greek fire's secret continues to evade us, trapped in time's wary embrace. To understand Greek fire is to delve into the depths of secrecy and human ambition. The Byzantines strategic grip on this knowledge was fierce and unyielding, turning it into a mythical force of psychological warfare. By cloaking its formula in mystery, they ensured naval superiority, leaving their rivals to speculate wildly, converting practical knowledge into legend. This formidable secrecy has entwined Greek fire's history with layers of fiction, complicating historians' tasks as they attempt to separate truth from embellishment. This quest is more profound than a mere chemical exploration. It is a journey through time, requiring the ability to balance rigorous inquiry with an appreciation for the unknown. The 20th and 21st centuries have witnessed persistent efforts to reconstruct Greek fire, blending modern chemistry with historical curiosity. From analysing amphorae residues to experimenting with ancient texts, researchers have pieced together plausible formulations. In 1973, the Hellenic Navy engaged in secret trials during a time of political tension, reflecting the perpetual allure of reviving such a daunting weapon. Yet the processes, primarily speculative in nature, create more questions than they solve. The concoction's complexity stands as a testament to the resourcefulness of Byzantine minds, even as the precise delivery and ignition remain elusive. The prevailing debates circle around the ingredients, whether it included saltpeter and quicklime, or if it relied on other elements such as resin or petroleum derivatives. These discussions offer insight into Byzantine experimentation with natural resources, often suggesting an advanced understanding of early refining processes, bridging ancient capabilities with modern interpretations of technology and innovation. Yet the conjectural nature of these analyses remains, highlighting geographical discrepancies in raw material, further leaving Greek fire's true composition a matter for speculation. Among the myriad of theories, the ignition method remains fiercely debated. The potential use of saltpeter and quicklime as igniters reflects a sophisticated comprehension of fire chemistry unfamiliar for the time. Historians ponder whether the Byzantines harnessed saltpeter's oxidizing powers to marry with other substances, suggesting a dark revelation of their technical prowess. Meanwhile, the quicklime theory stresses its exothermic reaction with water, proposing a strategic, fearsome advantage in naval battles, setting seas ablaze with terrifying effect. Beyond its physical form, Greek fire thrived on the psychological terrain, enhanced by Byzantine secrecy. Their deception amplified its legend, fostering accounts of awe and dread in battle narratives. Chroniclers, from Theophanes to foreign sources, captured this narrative tapestry, painting battles where flame and fear intertwined wildly. Arab and Norse accounts echo fear and survival, indicating the pervasive dread it inspired. These accounts paint vivid scenes of blazing seas and settlements, of panicked retreats and shifting allegiances, etching the formidable reputation of Greek fire that has endured for centuries. In the twilight of the Byzantine Empire, the art of Greek fire slowly dwindled, lost amid political upheavals and fading memories. As Constantinople fell, the formula seemed extinguished, surviving only in the annals of history as a story shrouded in mystery. Lost yet preserved through tales, its scientific knowledge succumbed to time's relentless march, transformed into legend as the embers of great past glory. The mythos of Greek fire spread across cultures, its image shaping art, literature and drama. From medieval epic poems to modern novels and films, it became a testament to mankind's ambition to control elemental forces. An emblem of power's fleeting nature, Greek fire has continually inspired creators to read its echoes, crafting narratives that extend beyond historical confines into allegory and metaphor. Today's pursuit to rediscover Greek fire's secrets symbolises an intersection of past and present, challenging researchers to embrace both the scientific and historical legacy it represents. Its allure poses profound reflections on how technologies are remembered or obscured, and invites contemplation on historical narratives woven through human triumph and innovation. The enduring legacy enshrines Greek fire as a symbol of Byzantine mastery, reflective of the empire's historical prowess. In conclusion, Greek fire remains an eternal enigma, beckoning future explorers with its mysteries. We urge viewers to join the curiosity trail, exploring history's depth and continuing to question the sands of time. Share this tale with others and keep the spirit of discovery alive by liking and subscribing to our channel. keeping close the fire of curiosity that Greek fire so brilliantly ignites.